This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Winnipeg's drug crisis is front and center nearly everywhere you look downtown. Open drug use, overdoses, and people in need of help. Now one piece of the province's strategy to address those issues and safety concerns could be in place next month. A long-promised and contentious supervised consumption site is almost ready to open. CBC's Cameron McLean reports.
The signs of Winnipeg's drug crisis can be seen by anyone walking around certain parts of downtown. Harm reduction advocates have waited a long time for a supervised consumption site to open in the city, which they hope will reduce overdose deaths and disease transmission. On Thursday, provincial officials said the first phase, a temporary trailer here on Henry Avenue, will open next month.
We took on the exemption process, so we're going through that right now. Aboriginal Health and Wellness will be running the site. They are in hiring phase right now, so as soon as they're got their staff hired up and trained, then the site will be open.
Brendan Galley is the general manager of Public Domain, a bar and music venue on Portage Avenue. Galley has spoken out about the impact crime, open drug use, and mental illness on the street has on his business.
We have seen the community deteriorate in the past little while with its community health and overall safety. We've tried to step up and really provide for folks who are struggling. And that's kind of gotten a little overwhelming for us to take on.
The updated timeline on the opening of the supervised consumption site came at a news conference Thursday. The province is giving $2.2 million to support downtown safety initiatives this summer, including the Wayfinders, an Indigenous-led program with the Downtown Community Safety Partnership.
I can tell you there is a level of collaboration happening right now that I have not seen before.
Lori Nealon lives in the East Exchange District. She supports the plan to open a supervised consumption site and is pleased governments are focused on safety. But she says one key piece is missing. A planned navigation center at 190 Disraeli, meant to help connect people to services like housing and healthcare, won't open until November.
That is such a key thing. Is there anything that can be done to make that move more quickly, to open sooner?
Otherwise, she fears her neighborhood could be in for another rough summer. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Millions of dollars worth of meth, cocaine, and fentanyl are now off Manitoba streets. A major drug trafficking network disrupted in a police sting. While it's good news for many, it also brings with it worries. Some harm reduction groups are concerned about the side effects, saying it could lead to a more toxic drug supply and more overdoses. CBC's Mike Arson has those details.
Winnipeg police are calling it the largest drug bust in Manitoba history. Wednesday, they showed off the $37.2 million worth of meth, cocaine, and fentanyl they seized as part of an interprovincial investigation. But some harm reduction advocates, like the Main Street Project, worry there could be unintended consequences.
When we see drugs taken off the street, we know the demand isn't going down. We know drug dealers are not going to sell less. They're just going to cut their drugs and make them more toxic.
Executive Director Jamil Mahmood says in April they saw more overdoses than ever before, which he attributes to drug seizures earlier in the year.
We know these are preventable deaths if we had a safer drug supply and we had better frontline resources to respond to this crisis.
Mahmood says disrupting the supply could create a situation that's unmanageable. Arlene Lass-Kolb is an addictions treatment advocate. She says the city can't police its way out of the drug crisis.
But there will always be somebody else there to replace what has been taken away. And what I'm concerned about is, what does that replacement look like?
In March, Street Connections issued a drug alert saying traces of medetomidine were showing up in the city's drug supply. It's a strong tranquilizer that can't be reversed by naloxone. Lass-Kolb is concerned this latest bust could lead to more of it in the streets.
We need a safer, regulated supply. We need to keep people alive.
Jennifer Carroll is a professor of anthropology at North Carolina State University. She's been studying people who use drugs for more than 20 years and says disrupting the supply can increase the potential for overdose deaths.
Taking drugs off the street, taking suppliers off the street increases overdose in the very, very, very short term, like within the next day. If you arrest a supplier, every single person that buys from that supplier is at risk of overdose in the next 24 hours, and it can stay high for weeks.
Premier Wab Kinew and Mayor Scott Gillingham praised Winnipeg police for the large drug bust. They say law enforcement is part of a public health approach to drugs and want to see people selling drugs arrested and charged. Mike Arson, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Meantime, Main Street is getting ready to reopen its food bank and essentials market months after a fire at the neighboring Manwin Hotel caused severe damage. It's been closed since January 14th. The building suffered a lot of damage and has had to be repaired. Main Street Project says the site is where they have their food supplies to help more than 150 families each week. Thousands of dollars of items had to be thrown out.
It ended up being about $13,000 worth of food in total when we did the calculations, because we have a walk-in fridge, a walk-in freezer, so there's lots of stuff that got damaged or smoke damaged, and so yeah, it's about that. Obviously, almost all of our food is donated, so it's all donated items, and so we're hoping to replenish that donation stock.
The organization's food bank is run like a grocery store to allow people to shop with dignity. It's looking for non-perishable donations like pasta, rice, canned goods, and peanut butter. The food bank and essentials market officially reopens next Thursday. Nearly a decade later, the killing of Colten Boushie continues to spark outrage. It happened again Thursday at the Manitoba legislature, where a Tory MLA called the farmer who shot Boushie the victim. The CBC's Ian Fraze reports.
As Manitobans are going to do what they have to do to protect themselves against an intruder.
On Thursday, Tory MLA Josh Ginter wanted all parties to support his resolution, calling on the feds to ensure everyone can use deadly force if an intruder tries to enter their home and threatens them. Then the debate turned to a controversial case. The 2016 killing of Colten Boushie shook the country, including in Winnipeg. The Cree man was shot and killed after driving onto a farmer's yard in Saskatchewan. The court acquitted the farmer, and the outrage was immediate. Some saw a farmer who got away with it, others saw a man protecting their family. That includes Ginter.
The victim, the farmer in the case that member cites, was the farmer was the victim, and he was acquitted.
Ginter's comments Thursday left the NDP's Indigenous MLAs appalled.
The victim was Colten Boushie. He was walking away.
While the premier demanded an apology, Ginter refused.
Frankly, I think Manitobans would look at that issue and say, hey, if someone's on my yard, potentially going to inflict harm on myself or my family, they're going to protect themselves and their loved ones.
Homeowners have a right to defend themselves.
However, an Indigenous lawyer questions the value of referencing Boushie's case at all.
What political message is being sent when lawmakers choose to frame this tragedy primarily through the lens of the shooter's victimhood?
When asked if Ginter is a victim, Boushie wouldn't use that word, but called what happened a tragedy and said Boushie shouldn't have been on the property. Ian Fraze, CBC News, Winnipeg.
And Ian misspoke there. He meant to say when asked if Boushie is a victim, Ginter wouldn't use that word and called what happened a tragedy. Premier Wab Kinew is heading to a Western Premiers Conference this weekend. He was asked whether he's worried Alberta separatism will overshadow the proceedings.
It's tough for us in Manitoba to even comprehend what's going on with the Alberta separatism question. And so my response is just, I don't know if anyone was going to complain about Canada. But I love this country, best country in the world.
An Alberta court has quashed plans for a referendum on separatism, but Premier Danielle Smith is expected to announce plans this evening for a vote about Alberta's future in Canada. All right, Riley, and now, Riley, it is so nice to see more people out on the streets, getting outside with this warmer weather.
Yeah, certainly, Brittany, although some Unstable weather still moving through parts of the province, mainly through Westman, where earlier in the afternoon, Brandon actually reporting some pea-sized hail. That was around the 2 o'clock hour or so out of some of these weak thunderstorms that have pushed through, some of that pushing back into parts of the Interlake. The Red River Valley, we've been in and out of the cloud cover through much of the afternoon today, but there's still some weak thunderstorms that have been forming in the southwestern corner of the province as we head into the evening hours here, mainly through Melita, Verdon, Pipestone, into the Brandon region, and where we have seen some of those lightning strikes through the afternoon, and the radar signature indicating even the possibility of some small hail out of some of this. Nothing meeting severe criteria, but certainly anytime you have thunder and lightning, just keep an eye on the skies as we head into the evening. For the Red River Valley and really for most of southern Manitoba, once we get into the overnight hours, we'll start to get into some clearing. 10 degrees overnight tonight. The winds back off a bit. We'll start to get back into more windy conditions as we head into the day tomorrow, and we'll get more cloud building in as we get through the afternoon, Brittany. 21 degrees tomorrow. We get a bit of wet weather into the weekend. I'll have more on that just ahead.
All right. Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Some Manitoba farmers are off to a late start getting their crops in this year. We'll have more on how much the cool spring has set them back next. Rain, cold weather, and wind have delayed seeding for many farmers this year. Add in other pressures like rising fuel and fertilizer costs, and producers say it's been a challenging season. Warmer weather on the way is welcome and needed for farmers to get their crops in the ground. CBC's Jura McElray shows us how farmers have been handling the hurdles.
Derek Ruchkel should be out in the field. Instead, he's repairing his seeder while he waits for the ground to warm up. A cold spring means Ruchkel is about a week behind schedule, on top of rising fuel and fertilizer costs.
So it's been really tough to kind of balance and make those seeding decisions, because it relies lots on economics and what's going to make you money, what's not going to make you money.
Jill Verwey of Keystone Agricultural Producers says it hasn't been a typical spring, with frost sticking around and wet spots in fields across the province.
Certainly concern with producers and stress getting the crop in, and you combine that with high input costs, high fuel costs, high fertilizer, availability of fertilizer. All of those additional tensions are making this year's, seeding process, tense.
One crop expert says seeding is just under 40% complete in Manitoba. That's up from around 10% complete last week.
Based on weather conditions and field conditions, that's just the way this year has been. So things change in a hurry in farming. So what we say today, a week from now, it'll be different if we get once we get this warmer weather kicking in.
Ruchkel says aside from cool temperatures, moisture conditions where he farms have been ideal for seeding. Before the last rain, he and his helper worked 60 hours in 3 days to seed while they could.
If the conditions are perfect, you better get your seed in the ground and be on that tractor, because you just don't know. If you get a week or two of really bad weather or rain events, then we won't be able to finish seeding.
The wind and cold weather might mean some producers will have to reseed patches of their fields. But many farmers are looking forward to the forecasted warmer weather so they can finish their work and watch their crops grow. Jura McElray, CBC News, Anola.
A 15-year-old has been arrested after a visiting baseball team's charter bus was torched. The Kane County Cougars are in town for a series of games against the Winnipeg Goldeyes. The team's bus was set on fire around 2 a.m. Thursday. Police say the bus and its contents were destroyed. 2 teens were taken into custody, and police say arson charges have been laid against a 15-year-old girl. The team will play their final game here tonight and say the Goldeyes have helped secure another bus for its road trip. New documents obtained by CBC News reveal that Health Canada inspections found multiple deficiencies at Grifols plasma donation centres after the deaths of 2 Winnipeg donors. Health Canada inspected the Taylor Avenue location the month after a 22-year-old international student died. The report says it found deficiencies that required, quote, immediate corrective actions. The shortcomings included issues with training, proper procedures not being followed, and incomplete record keeping. The health regulator found more deficiencies when a second person died earlier this year after donating at another location. Both Grifols and Health Canada say a link has not been found between the deaths and the donation process. The City of Winnipeg is suing a number of insurance companies after a community centre was damaged in a sewer backup 2 years ago. The incident happened at Dakota Community Centre in March 2024. In its lawsuit, the city claims it has insurance to cover the damage, but the insurance companies involved have not paid for the losses. The city claims it's paid $250,000 in repairs and expects a further $1.6 million in related expenses. While the facility is currently open, an area in the basement with a workout area and equipment storage remains unusable. The claims have not been tested in court, and the insurance companies have not filed defense statements. Well, it's been almost 20 years, but shovels are finally going into the ground to start construction of the South Winnipeg Recreation Campus. The new hub will be built in Waverly West. It will include 3 gyms, multi-purpose rooms, fitness area, care and daycare for more than 170 children. Chuck Davidson has been spearheading the project and says this will become a hub of one of the fastest growing neighborhoods in the city.
This is a day that I thought would never come. 18 years ago, I started down this journey as the president of the South Winnipeg Community Centre, and many of you were here along that journey when we talked about the need for a community centre in South Winnipeg. This was before there was a house in Waverly West. This was before schools were developed.
The three levels of government are contributing to the $127.5 million first phase of the project. It's expected to open in early 2028.
Sandra Sawatsky and Shelley Amos from the City of Winnipeg.
All right, Riley's back in now, and I don't know about you, but I was awoken to a loud crack last night with that thunder. My goodness, it was loud.
And it was a very quick mover as well, in and out of the city in virtually no time. Carrying about 5 to 8 millimeters of rain with that, give or take, in the city.
Which we needed.
We need that, yeah. Outside the city, places like Clandeboye picking up close to 20 out of some of the downpours that fell. I have a picture that I want to start with that was taken out of the same storm system that pushed through. This is from St. Francis Xavier last night. Some cloud-to-ground lightning that Richard shot through the overnight hours last night as that moved through. So thank you for sending this picture in first thing this morning. As always, love to see what your corner of the province looks like, even when we're into weather like this, for example, to talk back at cbc.ca. And here's how that storm system looked as it pushed through the Winnipeg region as we got through the overnight hours. So you can see St. Francis Xavier about right here as that lightning hits around 4 o'clock in the morning, some of that pushing through the city, but those heavier bands pushing just north of as this system worked through. So yeah, a little bit loud for some last night, some much needed moisture. We're getting a little bit more of that into western parts of the province as we head into the evening hours here. You can see lightning tracking starting to fire up again in the southwestern corner of the province as some of this instability pushes through. I'm not expecting any of this to work its way into the Red River Valley. All this kind of arcs up into the parkland and then into the parts of the northern Interlake as we get into the evening. For the rest of southern Manitoba, at least the southeastern corner of the province, I think we get into some clearing as we get through the overnight hours. As the rest of this rain starts to work its way through parts of the west as we get through the overnight hours, more like a mix of sun and clouds for most of us as we get into the morning, but high pressure keeping northern Manitoba into a mainly sunny sky as we get through the day on Friday once again. So a nice bright day for northern Manitoba. And temperatures into the afternoon in northern Manitoba that'll actually be in some cases warmer than we'll see in parts of the south. All of this starts to change once again as we get overnight into Saturday. Another area of low pressure working up from the States. This will give us a good shot of rain pretty broadly across southern and central Manitoba as we head through the night Friday into early Saturday. I wouldn't let this put a damper on any later Saturday plans, but certainly the morning looking wet. I think this wraps up by the time we're into the early afternoon for the most part. And then we're smooth sailing from there, and this will signal a bit of a pattern change that takes us into some much warmer air as we head into early next week. So what this is translating into as we head through the weekend here is a pretty broad area of 5 to 10 millimeters of rain. We'll combine some of that's still falling in the west, and we could see up to 15 plus in parts of extreme western Manitoba as we get through the next couple of days here. So a good shot of rain coming. Temperatures first thing in the morning around 11 to 13 degrees across southern Manitoba. In the long range, 19 Saturday, Brittany, up to 25 with a clearing sky into Sunday. And look at those numbers. Close to 30 degrees by early next week again.
All right. Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Here's a look at Osborne Village on a sunny evening as we head to break. We've got much more straight ahead. Stay with us. Fear and misinformation about the Ebola outbreak has led to the violence in the eastern Congo. People set fire to an Ebola treatment center in the heart of the outbreak zone after being prevented from retrieving the body of a friend for burial. Police say some locals don't grasp the risk of contagion from victims' remains or the seriousness of the disease. The World Health Organization now says there have been 148 suspected deaths and nearly 600 suspected cases of a rare strain of Ebola. A new outbreak zone has been declared 500 kilometers from the epicenter of the crisis. 2 cargo planes carrying medical supplies and equipment have now arrived to help limit further spread of the disease. Meantime, officials in Uganda aren't taking any chances with the outbreak. They're suspending flights and ferries and tightening border controls to help contain the spread. And they're not alone. Other countries, including the United States, are also ramping up travel restrictions. Washington's new rules resulted in a surprise landing here in Canada. Sheehan Desjardins reports.
An international flight bound for Detroit diverted to Montreal, to one of Canada's busiest airports, on board a citizen of Congo, where a deadly Ebola outbreak is worsening rapidly.
Suddenly, all the flight attendants had face masks on. So that was also very concerning when, they suddenly tell us that we are being diverted and they won't give you a reason.
New U.S. rules bar entry to non-U.S. passport holders who have been to Congo, Uganda, or South Sudan in the past 21 days. The U.S. Secretary of State defending that decision.
Our number one priority will always be making sure it doesn't come to the United States. That's our number one obligation.
Health officials say the passenger was assessed, found to be asymptomatic, and flew back to Paris. An Ontario resident, however, is being tested after traveling to East Africa.
What we know is that border closures don't really work.
Canada has not introduced travel restrictions, but this outbreak comes at the start of a busy travel season. Still, experts stress the risk of Ebola transmission here is low.
It's not 0%. The longer this goes on for and the larger the outbreak gets, then the higher the probability is that someone's going to travel with this infection.
But if that happens,
is there going to be like a widespread outbreak of this in Canada? No, of course not. No, we're not going to have that.
This doctor, who worked with Ebola patients in 2014, says there are protocols countries can put in place.
I think Canada should screen people who are arriving from affected regions to see if they have symptoms, to see if they were exposed in any way.
All agree the outbreak will likely get worse before it gets better. For those planning to travel, the advice: good hygiene and educate yourself before you go. Sheehan Desjardins, CBC News, Toronto.
A plane carrying pro-Palestinian activists has arrived in Turkey. They were part of a humanitarian aid flotilla bound for Gaza. It was trying to breach Israel's naval blockade when it was intercepted and detained by Israeli forces. Video of their treatment in detention has drawn international condemnation. Cameron McIntosh has the latest from Jerusalem.
All of the activists are now out of Israel after being detained in international waters and spending the night in an Israeli prison. Yesterday, Israel's security minister Itamar Ben-Gvir caused international outrage after posting this video where he's seen mocking detained activists, some held in restraints. The activists, part of a flotilla of more than 50 ships attempting to land in Gaza in defiance of and to draw attention to Israel's long-standing maritime blockade. In addition to the treatment you can see in Ben-Gvir's video, a human rights group representing the activists says some were abused.
One account that one of our lawyers was told that I think really goes to show the level of brutality that was employed was that one of the activists was forced to strip naked and run while guards were laughing. That is the type of level of humiliation and a public display of control and humiliation that the activists were confronted with.
Israel isn't commenting on those allegations, but does say it did use non-lethal force when it detained the activists. While Israel's prime minister is denouncing Ben-Gvir's video, Benjamin Netanyahu is not apologizing for the detentions, calling the activists Hamas terrorist supporters, insisting Israel has a right to block them. All as governments around the world are denouncing Israel for the treatment of the activists, including Canada, which has summoned Israel's ambassador. The group organizing the flotilla says that doesn't go far enough. It wants Canada to impose further sanctions on Israel. Canada says when it comes to Gaza, it supports UN aid efforts. Cameron McIntosh, CBC News, Jerusalem.
A proposed bill from the Carney government is drawing the ire of some telecom and tech companies, and not just here in Canada. The legislation would make it easier for police to access online data for investigations. But as Catherine Tunney explains, it's raising concerns about privacy and government overreach.
At Canada's tip line for online child sexual abuse and exploitation, workers field thousands of complaints a year, scan millions of abusive images online, but rarely see police charges.
We've got a lot of information about crimes that are occurring that our police aren't even able to get to because they're spending a lot of time in the early investigative stages to try to get the information.
It's why they are hoping the Liberals will use their majority in the House of Commons to pass Bill C-22. The federal legislation would make telecom and internet companies change their back-end systems to make it easier to hand over evidence. But it faces mounting backlash and accusations of overreach.
The government will have the power to order the large communications companies to retain information about where you go, who you communicate with, literally for an entire year.
The concerns aren't just domestic. Tech companies like Meta, Apple, Signal, and NordVPN say the Canadian bill would force them to weaken their privacy protections.
Part 2 of the bill would potentially force us to break encryption and to install government-directed hardware or software on our encrypted networks that would inevitably then also become a target for hostile actors.
Last week, the chairs of 2 American congressional committees even wrote to Canada's public safety minister, saying Bill C-22 would create significant cross-border risks to the security and data privacy of Americans. Canadian police are skeptical.
We certainly want to make sure that, profit margins are not being prioritized over public safety.
Public Safety Minister Gary Nansangri is also pushing back on critics, saying the bill's intention isn't to break encryption, but to make sure police have a pathway to the increasing amount of digital evidence, provided they have a warrant.
Tech giants are misinterpreting some of the safeguards that are already built in.
Critics want to see the bill updated to make clear that the government won't break encryption. The minister's office hopes to pass the bill by summer, leaving little runway for substantial changes. Catherine Tunney, CBC News, Ottawa.
Canada's communications regulator wants American streaming giants to contribute more money to Canadian programming. The CRTC says it will triple the amount of streaming platforms like Netflix and Disney Plus are required to pay. Karina Roman has the details, including the likely implications of the decision.
The headline is that the big streamers, Netflix, Disney, Prime, Apple, will be told to pay more towards the production of Canadian content. Right now, it's a 5% base rate on their annual Canadian revenues. The CRTC is raising that to 15%. This is part of 2 major decisions today from the CRTC as part of the broadcasting regulator's ongoing work to set out the regulations and rules to implement Bill C-11, the Online Streaming Act. Canada's big traditional broadcasters will see a decrease in what they've been paying into Canadian content. Right now, it ranges from 30 to 45% of their annual revenues. That will now go down to a flat rate of 25%, but with some specific strings. 15% of that has to go to news programming, for example. This is for broadcasting groups that make more than $100 million in annual revenues. A broadcaster that makes between $25 million and $100 million still has to put 25% into the fund, but they will have more flexibility on where that money goes. The CRTC also set out what they'd expect from broadcasters and streamers on discoverability. That's about how easily it is for audiences to find certain content. And in this case, the CRTC is most concerned about Canadian content, French language content, and Indigenous programming. The CRTC has also decided that a dedicated fund is the best way to fund what's known as services of exceptional importance. That's the CPACs, the APTNs, accessibility media, and those types. Broadcasters making more than $25 million annually must put 1.55% of their revenues into that fund. Now, the implications of the increase in the levy on the big streamers could be big. The 5% levy was already being fought in court by the big American streamers. No decision yet on that court case, and the CRTC says they are confident in their position in court and that they didn't want to wait until the decision came out to do the work Parliament asked of them on Bill C-11. This is also expected to be another trade irritant for the Americans, making those CUSMA talks even more difficult. And there's U.S. legislation looking at making this kind of required payment to do business in Canada as grounds for counter tariffs. Karina Roman, CBC News, Ottawa.
A man wanted in connection to a string of arsons and extortion charges in Winnipeg has been arrested in Toronto. Police have alleged 7 people are connected to a string of extortion incidents last summer. Fires were set at a warehouse on Spruce Street and 2 convenience stores on Selkirk Avenue. At the time, police also said 3 other stores were targeted and they paid for protection. 5 people were arrested, and now police say they've picked up 1 other. Jermaine Weeks was taken into custody on May 1st. Farhan Nabil remains wanted and at large. Learning how to recognize injustice, know your strengths, and use them to create change. How students are making an impact, next. Art, exhibits, and music with a commitment to human rights. Every year, Manitoba students get to display their projects in the galleries of the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. It's part of the museum's Be an Upstander program, where students showcase the work they've done for human rights. The CBC's Rosanna Hempel brings us more on what they created this year.
So whenever you walk into a store, the first thing you always see is a nice piece of clothing, but no one ever sees behind the scenes.
These students are hoping to educate others about child labor in the fashion industry. They created this display and performance to share their message.
So it's just very important to me because I don't ever want to see a very small kid going through an experience that bad.
And they learned a lot along the way.
But I didn't know how gruesome it was. So now every time I go to a store, even if I want that shirt or pants, I always have to look at that tag.
Their exhibit is part of the annual Be an Upstander program at the Canadian Museum for Human Rights. From art, games to music. Motion sickness. About 200 students got to share the work they're doing for human rights inside the galleries. Thea Wortley is an interpretive program developer.
And it's a day I always walk away from feeling very hopeful and feeling very encouraged because the students who come here just have such amazing ideas and they are so passionate.
High school student Emily Pertula was inspired by an exhibit to create her own art.
The picture behind me is of a woman from the past before the suffrage movement was able to occur, where she wasn't able to express her political or societal views on anything. And then the floating glass pieces are what happened after, and then they're all shattered because there's so many different thoughts and views on how women are expected to look and act.
This high school band from Selkirk performed a composition by 17-year-old Carter Anderson. He says it's about discrimination.
It's something that happens to a lot of my friends and something that I can't stand, so I thought of writing a song about it.
Teacher Kelly Hagan says the event helps bring the outside world into the classroom.
They get to see how the world around them can be affected by their small, tiny little change.
One idea, one project at a time. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A couple in southeast Saskatchewan changed their May-long weekend travel plans last minute, and staying home may have saved the lives of a family caught up in a house fire. Alex Kozrowski has that story.
This is the moment Samantha Tegert and her boyfriend Greg Stewart found their neighbor's house on fire across the street.
We both just started banging on the door, telling everybody to get up, get out, there's a fire.
The pair almost went camping that night, but decided to pick up an extra shift at work instead. That's how they were awake at 4 a.m, just in time to spot the blaze.
He kicked the door in and went into the house and started yelling, "Everybody get out, get out, get out." While I ran to the street, grabbed my phone. I dialed 911 right away.
From there, the couple helped 8 people and a dog evacuate the burning home.
I know of one that got smoke inhalation. Me and Greg went to the hospital, got checked out. We burnt our throats just a little bit just from standing in all that smoke, and I burnt the back of my hair off because there was a flame that blew through the living room.
As soon as everyone was out, the Radville-Laurier Volunteer Fire Department took over to stop the flames from spreading. Fire Chief Byron Labby says the family had gathered there for a grandparent's birthday, and he applauds the couple for saving them.
I think they did the community a great service, and I've talked to them and told them that they did an excellent job of being good neighbors.
Tegert says she's just glad everyone made it out alive.
There's a lot of what ifs that we keep thinking, but we just want to keep thinking of the outcome that everyone is alive. Houses can be replaced, but people can't.
The homeowner tells CBC News she's deeply grateful for the couple's quick response. And for now, she and her son will be staying with a neighbor. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Alex Kozrowski, CBC News, Regina.
All right, Riley, back in now. We were talking about that quick storm that passed through last night, and I think our pup got a little scared by it because she stuck very close during that time, right in the bed in the middle.
You know, for some reason, I guess I slept with the window closed because I did not hear it last night. But I know a lot of people did hear it as it pushed through around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Some of that happening still. in Westman, so maybe not the best evening for a dog walk, but tomorrow will be better. And then there's a little more rain coming for the weekend. All right, let's have a look at Maggie and Annie, both 11 years old, and we're both rehomed here and are now living their best life as best buds. Thank you, Bill and Wendy, for sending this picture. And you know, I was talking about the dog walking forecast on Up to Speed on CBC Radio 1 this afternoon. And since I did that, I think I've got about 14 pictures in the inbox in the last hour alone. So keep them coming to talkback@cbc.ca. I love to see all of the dogs, all of the pups coming from every corner of the province and beyond. So let's keep that going. We'll get some cloud building in as we get through the afternoon. Tomorrow, you'll notice things a little bit windy again tomorrow. Southeast 30, gusting to 50. You know, we saw some gusts close to the 60 mark across parts of southern Manitoba today. That does die down a bit as we get through the night tonight. All right, townwide yard sales. Lots of them happening this weekend. Unfortunately, the Saturday versions of those likely to be a bit on the wet side, at least for the first half of the day. So Warren, Stonewall, St. Anne all having sales this weekend. So maybe if you can hold off until the afternoon hours, things will be a little bit better. Could be a bit damp into the morning hours and into the western part of the province. Some sunny breaks through Wawanesa, Glenborough. Chance of a shower as we get through the early part of Saturday. Temperatures of 14 to 17 degrees, and a giveaway weekend happening in Swan River this weekend too. So lots to take in. Weather will be a bit cooler than seasonal through at least the first part of the weekend. I'll have more on that in your long range coming up. 21 is where we got to in Winnipeg. Portage, Winkler, Steinbach, 18 in Brandon, 15s and 14s in the Parkland, where we did see some of that wet weather pushing through as we got through the afternoon hours. Looking at temperatures, 7 to 10 degrees for most of us as we head through the overnight hours. Some showers, a couple rumbles of thunder still in parts of the west, and looking at things closer to the freezing mark. 4 in Thompson overnight tonight, 0 in Shamattawa, clear sky overnight. High pressure keeping things nice and sunny for much of northern Manitoba. Churchill even getting to 13 degrees through the afternoon with a south wind tomorrow. Maybe some showers through Grand Rapids, the Pas into Norway House through the afternoon. And in southern Manitoba, we'll get close to seasonal, which is around 21 for this time of the year for most of us in southern Manitoba. Still some showers working up the western edge of the province and some nice sunshine to be had, Brittany, into southeastern Manitoba and northwestern Ontario. Your 7-day forecast is just ahead.
Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
The Montreal Victoire have made hockey history, becoming the first Canadian team to win the biggest prize in the women's game, the Walter Cup.
What a game to seal it! Victoire, Victoire! Montreal has won their first Walter Cup!
And there it is. With the win over the Ottawa Charge, the party begins. The Walter Cup is hoisted by a Canadian team for the first time ever. Team captain Marie-Philippe Poulin gets the honors. She's also named the playoff MVP with 8 points in 9 postseason games. Here's the team photo with all those players just feeling the thrill of victory. Well, Montreal is definitely having a moment. After the women's team win, the city now prepares to host the Canadian Grand Prix this weekend. Add to that the Habs playoff run, and it has local businesses revved up for a big tourism boost. Here's Sharon Yonan-Reynolds.
The city of Montreal is transforming into the racing center of the world as Grand Prix festivities take off. Here's what you need to know about what's happening throughout the city. Grand Prix parties and festivals kick off throughout Montreal. The main festivals are happening downtown, completely taking over Crescent and Peel Streets. Attendees can expect music, car demos, and crowds of fans.
I haven't seen Montreal like this for many, many years. So you have both great storms with the Canadians and also the Grand Prix at the same time. So in terms of numbers, economically, it's very much a win for the destination Montreal.
Other neighborhoods like the Old Port and Little Italy also get in on the festivities with their own Grand Prix displays, cars, and lively terraces. Restaurants are also getting ready to welcome the crowds, with some expecting business to double over the weekend.
Not full of reservation, but quite full of reservation, you know. Try to please everyone, even if we don't have room available.
Many bars and restaurants also expect to host hockey supporters and plan to air those Eastern Conference games. Hotels are also expecting a busy weekend, with Tourism Montreal projecting an occupancy rate of up to 93%. There's still limits on short-term rentals like Airbnb after the Plante administration put more rules in place last year. Since September, homeowners are barred from renting their homes for periods under 31 days outside the summer months. Mayor Soraya Martinez-Ferrada has said that she plans to overhaul those rules this fall. Tourism Montreal says it hopes the city makes those changes in time for next year.
So very happy with the hotels are full, but that demand is still there, very much so, right? You're just not going to change that. So people are going outside of Montreal. We hope that the mayor changes the regulation as soon as possible.
The Grand Prix festivities run until Sunday.
Still ahead, an adorable family of foxes has moved in with a southern Manitoba family. We'll have that after the break. Plus, Riley back with a last check on our forecast. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Still tracking some instability and some thunderstorms rolling through parts of western Manitoba and into the Interlake. The main threats into the evening, of course, being lightning, the potential for some downpours and maybe some small hail, as we have seen earlier in the day, into parts of western Manitoba. All that working into the Interlake. You can see some heavier pockets of rain pushing up along Highway 6 into Ericsdale and Lundar, for example. So keep your eyes on the skies. All of this misses the Red River Valley, but we will get some showers as we head overnight Friday into Saturday, some of that lingering into Saturday morning, and then temperatures really warm up in behind that. 25 for Sunday, a clearing sky through the day, 29 on the way for Monday, 31 for Tuesday, and temperatures hang around the 30-degree mark, Brittany, right through the middle of next week.
Wow.
A Manitoba family is dealing with some wild visitors at their home in Mitchell, southeast of Winnipeg.
Who probably like this weather.
Probably.
A family of foxes has moved in under their deck, giving the family a front row seat to a nature show. And a warning, the following video contains images of some pretty cute fox babies.
Hi, my name's Ashley. I am in Mitchell, Manitoba. So we have foxes, and it turns out they decided to have an entire family under our deck. So we have 7 babies, and then mom and dad frequent here all the time. So we're up at like 4:30 in the morning, and we heard this like screaming noise outside, and we're like, what in the world is that? So we started looking out the windows, and we saw the fox in the front yard, and he's just screaming. About a week ago or so, we were looking outside first thing in the morning, getting up, doing our usual thing, and we saw a little baby. And then more babies came out, and more babies, and just from there, over the past week and a bit, we've just been watching babies grow, and every time we look out, I swear there's more. We went from thinking there was 1 or 2 to then being 4, then being 6. We now know that there is 7 babies. When mom and dad come in the yard, they're everywhere. It's like somebody took a cup of dice, shook it, and threw it out. I love having them here. They're fun. I don't know if my hydrangeas are gonna love it as much. They're pretty trampled, but I do.
They are so cute.
From a distance.
I love and they're being respectful. You can see that they're inside when they're recording, letting them do their thing. So nice to look at them playing together. Brother, sisterly love.
Reminds me of the time we raised baby goslings when I was younger. Those were cute. And I've told this story before. Then they just eventually flew away on their own, and off they went.
They grew up,
they did.
as they do, and leave the nest.
And us heartbroken.
Have a wonderful night. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Were you?